Are you tired of the endless phone trees and the dead air when you're trying to get a trucking insurance quote for your fleet? Today, I'm talking to Sarah Mendoza-Reid from Tivly about how a smart marketplace is revolutionizing the way truckers find coverage. We're diving into the real costs of long haul insurance and why the traditional broker model might be slowing you down. If you want to cut stress and save time, you don't want to miss this episode. Let's get right to it.
Welcome to the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast.
Sarah, welcome to the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast. Can you take just a few minutes and introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners, please?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely.
I am Sarah Mendoza-Reid. I am Vice President of Agency Services at Tivly. I started my career in commercial insurance in around 2004 with a surplus line brokerage in Florida before moving to the retail agency side of the business. I'm originally from Michigan, proud Michigan State fan, go green. Now living in Oklahoma City. Outside of work, I'm a wife, a mom, a former roller girl, and a proud owner of 3 amazing dogs.
And your spouse comes from California.
That's right. My spouse is from California.
There we go. And 3 dogs. Where are the 3 dogs from? Just out of curiosity.
I have 2 Frenchies and a dash hound, and I have my newest Frenchie sitting right in my drawer, and he's a little hungry, so I'm going to just keep reaching over and petting him a little bit, but...
All right, then we better get right to it. Tivly, as in positively.
Positively, yes.
What is it? What makes it different and unique from other insurance providers?
Well, Tivly is an insurance marketplace. We have over 350 commercial insurance partners, whether they be direct carriers or agencies that we work with. And we have the ability to connect businesses, not specifically, but truckers, since that's what we're talking about, with one that specializes in trucking.
And what makes that different than a broker or an agency?
Well, it cuts our job is intended to cut the time from the business owner that's looking for insurance, as well as make it easier for the agency or broker that's going to write that policy. Basically, a fleet owner or a truck driver is going to call us. Our team is going to conduct a small quick interview, usually around 10 minutes or so. They're going to collect the basic information, who they are, what they haul, how they run, and then, what the customer is trying to solve. And then during that interview process, behind the scenes, we have a smart matching platform that ensures the fleet owner is matched specifically with a provider who specializes in the coverage that they're looking for.
See, and that's really neat, I think, because if I call up an insurance broker, because many of the trucking insurance companies don't sell direct, you call up either an agency or a broker, and they may or may not be able to serve you because of the cargo that you haul or other restrictions that they may have within their own company. So what I'm hearing from you is you really don't have those restrictions.
Well, we're cutting out the time. You may, spend hours on the phone or on the internet searching for somebody that can help you, where you could call us and we're going to get it narrowed down to a smaller group and hopefully to one specific one that can take you. They're ready to take that call. Once we're done with the interview process and we have that match for the customer, we're going to warm transfer you to that partner, so you don't have the dead air, you're not getting lost in a phone tree, you're not having to start over from scratch. And then that partner is going to take it and do a deeper dive, collecting full fleet information and claim history and basically all the underwriting details, so they can get them quoted to try to make it seamless and give them a much better shot at driving away with the coverage that they need.
And who is your market?
We have several.
Go ahead.
We're primarily small business market.
So
for
when you say small, are you talking like 1 to 10 trucks?
Yeah, I had a trucking risk that came through last year through our agency division. Want to say they had 25 trucks. But typically we see the 1 to 10 range. We don't see, higher than that just in our marketplace
Right.
access. It's really just who's coming across. We have the ability to connect with really large brokers that can write higher risks, specialty brokers.
Yeah, and my experience is it's the 1 to 10s. They're the ones that frequently pay the highest amounts and
Mhm.
have the hardest time finding coverages.
Yeah, really the pricing is going to be dependent on the situation. Um, the losing my words. It's dependent on a lot of different factors.
Well,
So obviously, when we're talking money, it can policies can range for a single driver from 8 to 22,000 for a single truck, per year. And if you're think that's going to be like over the road long haul trucking, but a local guy with just a box truck, it could be anywhere from $3,000 to $8,000 per truck. But it's going to be based on a lot of different factors, not the driving history, claims history, what type of truck it is, if they have any specialty, with like a reefer or doing hot shot or anything like that. It's all going to vary. So no policy is going to be the same for every particular company.
well, and that's for sure. And it also largely depends on what the heck you're hauling. And, are you
Yeah.
doing, as you said, reefer freight, drive freight, oversized, overweight? Um,
Yep.
it's so many different variables in trucking. It's wonderful. It's what makes it interesting for me. Now, exactly what is it that you can cover in commercial trucking insurance? Or asked, I guess a better way would be, what is commercial trucking insurance?
Well, at a high level, Chris, commercial truck insurance is a collection of auto insurance policies tailored for the trucking business. But
Okay.
what it's not is regular auto insurance with higher limits. So it's built around the realities of trucking. You got higher vehicle or heavier vehicles, higher cargo values, higher injury potential, federal regulations that you don't see with a normal personal auto policy or even a normal commercial auto policy.
And you've got damn nuclear verdicts too to deal with.
Yes. Yes.
Let's not forget
Yeah.
those lovely beasts that are hanging out there.
Yeah. And like for a single over the road trucker, that can literally be one verdict and you're done. They make one bad decision, speeding, distracted driving, or like just driving tired in bad weather and not having those safety protocols in place. That can, produce a multi-million dollar claim that blows past their small liability limit, which threatens their authority and their truck and their personal assets. But a large fleet, same type of crash, same type of settlement, they may likely survive it because they're going to have layers of insurance and more capital, but they're going to feel it through higher rates and tougher underwriting and likely forced investment in safety training. So where some of the smaller guys might not think about, those things, it is important because it's your livelihood.
Tell me a little bit about what's different about covering a commercial vehicle.
Well, you have your different types of vehicles that are that are covered. Sorry, most people hear truck insurance and they think just 18 wheelers, but it's much broader. We've kind of alluded to that a little bit. You've got long haul and regional tractor trailers, obviously, but you also have box trucks and straight trucks doing furniture or parcel deliveries. And then you have the dump trucks and mixers and construction, tow trucks, rollbacks, and the whole world of, just general delivery vans. it's not just, a passenger vehicle that's used to run a bank errand, for an office. It's the if you're driving, if you're commercial trucking, you're hauling goods. If it's a moving vehicle, moving goods, tools, equipment for a business, it's almost always going to be a commercial truck, or at least a commercial auto solution, that we could have for it. But
One of the things that I see growing a lot right now is what I call last mile delivery. I know my wife loves to shop online, and we get cars pulling up all the time to drop off the parcels, but that's a commercial use.
right.
Can you
I
help?
think that would fall more under a commercial auto policy with an endorsement, or with a, additional insured for like Amazon in particular. But if it's a considered a box truck or over a certain weight, that's what's going to fall into the commercial trucking portion
And
of it.
about 10,000 pounds, I believe,
Yeah,
or 4,500 kilograms, depending on whether
yeah,
I'm talking American or Canadian, eh? So,
exactly.
oh God, we've talked about how much it costs already. Um, what again? Going back to positively or Tivly, how can you best help a small trucking company owner?
Well, I think it's just first connecting, getting them on the phone and seeing what their needs are. That interview process where it's not very long. It's only, roughly 10 minutes. Some will go longer depending on the customer, where they're located. I think regionality, tends to drive the flow of some conversations. You get a not Midwest, Northeast person, New York, Michigan. I tend to talk fast versus, and somebody who wants to get things done, they want to get off the phone. They're going to be more inept to have the questions ready to go and answers ready for the person that's doing the interview on our team, versus somebody who's, in the South where I live now, where it's a little slower and you got the pleasantries and, well, sweetheart, this is what well, let me go check this, I'm going to have to grab that, and that kind of thing. It can drag on, but our typical interview process, depending on the type of business it is and what they're needing, is around 10 minutes. And then, just going through that process, taking as many notes as we can. We're going to pass all that off to the partner that we ultimately end up connecting you with, in that warm transfer. And, that's just going to give them the best shot to keep their trucks moving and their revenue protected by connecting them with that right specialist that can write their business, that hopefully, turns out a tailored quote and ideally write the policy for them that's going to be best for their business situation.
Do you write in all states, or can
We
you
do.
help? So
We
you can
can.
help.
We can help in all states. Yep.
Yeah, because again, going back to my insurance days, a lot of the times it was they couldn't help you in all jurisdictions or states.
Yeah. Because we're not a brokerage or a carrier, we're a marketplace. We have partners that are on the East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. They're open all varying hours of the day. Our contact center that handles the interview process, they're open, I believe, from 7 a.m. Central to 7 p.m. Central, or later. Actually, no, it's later. I don't know the exact times. I believe it's actually 9 p.m. Central is what we're open to, and we're Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
So we're only closed on Sundays, but there's always somebody able to answer the phone. I want to say we have over 400 people within our contact center. So you're typically getting a live person on the phone without going through a gamut of phone tree of press one for this or press two for that. I think we do have one for bilingual, one little router for bilingual. But other than that, when you connect, you're connecting with with someone that's going to be ready to start asking questions and get you going to the next
So
best
it
thing.
sounds like you can connect with a live human 6 days
Mm-hmm.
a week, um,
Mm-hmm.
basically 12 hours a day.
Yeah, basically. And
Yeah.
we do have, digital options as well. Customer can fill out a form on our website. It's going to it could potentially route them to a particular partner. If not, then it'll tee them up for a phone call. So if we're not available during outside of our hours, then it'll tee up for our team to give you a call and finish that process.
See, what a perfect place, I think, to wrap it up. Is there anything else, Sarah, that we need to know about the company and or about you?
Well, I mean, we've been around for a while. I've been with the company specifically for this is my 15th year, almost as long as I've lived in Oklahoma. I've worked with Tivly. I've worked, everything from the contact center side to leading the agency side, from marketing to accounting to HR. When we started off really small, we've grown leaps and bounds, and you know, trying to help every business owner the best we can, and just connecting people where they're going to be best fit to cover them and really provide education for them too.
That's perfect. And of course, your contact info is in the show notes down below. And I would encourage you to, or the viewers, to reach out to Sarah. Finding the right insurance broker doesn't have to be a full-time job that keeps you off the road. I want to thank Sarah Mendoza-Reid for joining us and pulling back the curtain on how Tivly is making the process fast and more transparent for the small fleets. If you're ready to stop chasing brokers and start getting results, make sure you check out the links in the show notes down below. Hey, as always, stay safe out there, keep the wheels turning, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Trucking Risk and Insurance Podcast.